We haven't got anything planned to speak about, have we, really?
No, I don't think so.
Right.
We'll just get on.
Shall we? It's amazing. Okay. Sonnet upon collaboration. You have to pretend that it is a meeting of equals, even though you are not wrong and not equal. Perhaps, as Ted Berrigan said, you are having sex or faking orgasm, when in your head it's just spanking and no pricks come for our bubble. The lack of a single author proving confusing to the voice of the people equals the herds of tenure-track onanists, Marxists, yearning for validation, porn, sabbatical, a career in quality lit and author photo in the bowels of the beleaguered academy. Breaking the eggs, spilling the milk, pulling it off even, sometimes broken, happy, shaved, amazed, at the end of the line, surprised, and the fact that collaboration is for fuckers and double penetration fantasy. In this language, in this life, when I kiss you on the mouth, I breathe in and breathe out, pretending we are or we aren't, always astonished, and good and bad verse in and out of my, your, our imaginary utopian pantry.
This morning, I lay in the bath. The water shimmered. The whole day's promise chirruped like a rare steak. My glasses, they steamed. And I thought we might cry in our poems, Tim, like babes in woods might cry till their tears formed wanton lagoons, while up in the sky chickadee flew in formation simpatico. And I wondered, as the bath water lipped at the shores of my thighs with its ticklish meniscus, should we rhyme whatnot with whatnot, and perhaps we all suffer from eczema on the sensitive edge of each stanza, and incline ourselves and our fluttery poems just a little towards one another as we read them, dipped as we'll be in lugubrious English light.
From a poem by Mark Waldron. In formations, ourselves and fluttery will be ticklish at the shores, and perhaps my glasses of my thighs formed while the sky flew on the sensitive. In our poems, as the bath water cry, and I thought we might cry like a rare steak of each Tim stanza we ought suffer this morning. I lay in the meniscus poems, just a little bath, simpatico, wanton lagoons dipped as woods might towards our promise in lugubrious, with its and incline edge lipped. Should we rhyme, they steamed one another as we read them, like babes in, up in, the whole day's whatnot with whatnot. Chickadoo from eczema water, English light, till their tears the shimmied chirruped. And I wondered.
This morning I woke, and I thought that perhaps after all we should warble. Yes, I thought we all flutter and quaver and tweedle and tweet, and I thought that perhaps we might flap and migrate and peck and nest and do all those things that birds do. And I wondered if we should fabricate eggs, Tim, with shells made of eggshell, and then with a mewling and screech we could squat down and lay them, not gently but roughly as men might. Then we could hatch them and cluck at what hatch, and I'm going to suggest we could take off Tim in these suits made of stone, and we could go about on the inside of our poems, between one side and the other, and within those diminished dimensions perhaps we could glide and soar and plummet.
Ode to Collaboration, and Mark Waldron. Oh, collaboration, I salute you, smoking in the 1990s, semi-professional or pro-am, with Miles Champion and Tim Davis in Camden in June, with Eleni Sikilianos and Laird Hunt in Paris in December. How serious we all were then. In one it was darkness, and what in the other. How elastic and toned was our skin. Without you, we would not have written Slipping from Roof Toward Nightfall, Sward Fresh Carpet, or Toreador's Caper Up North Face, Pay Dirt, When You Showed Me Your Apples. With Jeff Hilson, we wrote Fizzers, Nuggets, Stingers, Aglo Bubbly, and Jap Dessert, the guests at my wedding reception. How difficult it is to be equal and brilliant. Leaning over tables before the invention of mail, failing with Emily Critchley because of A, the baby, B, being lazy, and C, Louise Labe. Oh, I'm sorry, dear Emily, how much I wanted for us to do it together. Doing the limbo in Joe Batt's Elbow with Peter Yeager. Was the greatest episode the second issue of Locus Solus, or the 5 cowboy copy in Legend? Perhaps it is here, now, at any time where friendship and poetry are celebrated. Or is this just bollocks? I think it is. Like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. Or what happens when you develop a violent loathing for your partner in the bath? Or vice versa. Is it like being hunted down like a dog, I suppose, in a place that hunts dogs? And why do we always leave things to the last moment? Are we a couple of lamps, like a couple of inanimate objects, aiming for poems that are comfortable and roomy, or pants that are tight as a kitten? Making and breaking alliances like underpants in a dryer without cling-free, standing before you like a 5'6" man or woman, like a couple of hummingbirds who have never met, waiting for you to write the next line. With a fountain pen so expensive, it looks as if someone had grabbed the Pope, turned him upside down, and started writing with the tip of his big pointy hat.
Collaboration. As I recall, the sun was coming up or going down on an ordinary day when I looked up the word. 3. The act of cooperating as a traitor, especially with an enemy occupying one's own country. And then I came across these pictures of collaborators, barely men they were. And as they were bound and then shot in a public park in Grenoble in 1944. I found myself transfixed by all their rigid dignity and afraid that I'd be squealing like a pig in an abattoir and would try to wriggle round behind the wooden stake I'm tied to so that I might gain some small protection from it. And then I thought I could say with only a little hubris that I was a collaborator with my own inveigled self as I grew up, and that together we hunted me down in that tall house and forced a man's concealing voice on me,